This is Deb Carson from Fox Sports Radio, and you're listening to Jim and Florence on the Forum.
Hi, everyone. This is Jim Jax, and welcome to the Forum. I almost said Jax Confidential because we're having Florence on next week for our Mafia movies, and boy, that should be fun. I can't wait for that with Keith. Real cult classic, and thank you to all that love that show. But today we are doing another very popular celebrity book review. We've first done the likes of Stephen King. Shout out to him. Shout out to Kathy Ireland. All the love we're getting from our celebrities. And you, the fan, really loves this too. So we enjoy doing it. We get excited about these books because they're very good. We're very choosy on who we do. So without further notice, Florence, why don't you introduce Celebrity Guest Book Review?
Yes. Like you said, very, very popular is our Celebrity Book Club. And our next author, who I am really excited about because he has been such a wonderful support to us, his name is Ron Fuller Welch, the Tennessee stud, iconic wrestler, has a book called Brutus. And it's one of those books that you cannot put down. But before we start the review, why don't we talk a little bit about who this iconic wrestler Ron Fuller is?
Now, for some of you on the West Coast, Roy Shire was obviously the big one in San Francisco with big time wrestling. I mean, you'd get 19,000 in the Cow Palace with some of the greats of all time wrestling there. But in the South, one of the big territories was the Tennessee area. Ron Fuller's family has almost 24 of them. Have controlled these territories for over 3 decades, and they did for a very long time. They're very instrumental in getting some of the biggest names in wrestling in the ring, and they were very well known. Ron wrestled all throughout the world to some of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He was the Tennessee stud. He was normally a bad guy, very great character. In real life, he's a super nice guy. He's a great guy, but I think when you look at him, he's owned minor league NHL teams. He was one of the top ADT companies in North America. He knows how to run a business. He knows what he's doing, and he's very smart. And when I first, as just like you're probably thinking, a wrestler doing a book is probably about wrestling. But no, this is a novel, and it's a very interesting one. And I am shocked and pleasantly surprised that Ron is such a great writer.
He absolutely is. This is such a well-written book. Brutus by Ron Fuller Welch. I have to say I was surprised as well. Can't put it down. Very, very good writing. I wanted to ask you overall, what did you think of this book?
I really enjoyed it. As we have talked off air, it's a very unique book. It's a book that I can't put my finger on anything else like it. We were kind of thinking, as I was telling you, maybe a Jaws type movie that really everyone saw Jaws. It just blew us away at what a different, unique story that was. This kind of does the same thing. It's about biggest man-eating lion in recorded history, and 3 people trapping him and bringing him back to the Smoky Mountain Zoo in Knoxville, Tennessee, the Tennessee stud. That's why it comes in. And then it goes through, the lion is let out by one of the sympathizers, Jeb, of the lion, and you get into this huge mess, different types of situations where you feel for the 3 people, then you feel for the lion, then you feel for Jeb. It's amazing, and it's a book. We're not going to give away everything.
No.
But this is a thrilling ride. It was hard to put this book down with all of the great things that you have in this story. It's very unique. And so you asked me, how did you like it? What was it about? I really liked it. And again, the premise and the story was very well done.
Absolutely. I think that, like we both have said, we loved his writing. We love the way he writes the book, the way he puts the characters together. Again, you're on the edge of your seat. You really can't believe how it's almost like go around the corner, what's going to be next? What are you going to see next? And I think, like you said, Jaws is probably the perfect comparison. Now, what did you think of the way he wrote the characters and even the way he wrote Brutus, the way he wrote this lion? What did you think of that?
I think the thing that really shocked me, because let's face it, everybody and their mother is putting out thousands and thousands of new authors, and some, I would say really, to be honest, about 80% of books are not that good anymore. And about 10% are good and 10% are like by icons like Stephen King. But in this book, the character development was excellent. And also it was real. To me, it reminded me of wrestling. And we had people like Mick Foley. I love Mick Foley, and shout out to Mick. We love him to death. That's what I think was fun about Mick, is that you really felt in tune with his kids' books or whatever. You just felt good about the characters and you understood them. In this realm, you see yourself kind of in it. You see where you may like the lion even, or feel sorry for the lion. And there's other times you'd like to kill the lion. And I think you see a lot of different emotions, a lot of different thoughts, and a lot of different flaws in the characters, as well as some things that you may admire. So it's like a wrestling match where you, at times you don't know who's the heel, who's the face, who's good guy, who's bad guy. And I think that to me was the good thing. I related to all of the characters at different times of the book. Even the lion I related to, because there's a few people I'd like to do some things too. But yeah, that's what I really loved about it. And I think with Ron, he has a talent for writing, and it shows in this book.
Absolutely. And it does. It takes you on a roller coaster ride. And I agree. At different times, you feel for the different characters, including the lion. Yep. And it's kind of surprising that that's the journey it takes you on. We're used to, as book reviewers, especially with a lot of our authors, a lot of the romance, a lot of that time travel and that type. This was different, and I loved that about it. Like, this was something new for me. And again, I think it's a testament to Ron's talent, to his writing ability, and his imagination.
2 thumbs up for Brutus, Brutus. I was surprised. I think everyone that talked to me said, oh my God, a dumb wrestler that thinks he's going to be a writer, but this is not it. Ron is a super bright guy, super smart. He knows what he's doing. He's been very successful in different avenues of life and obviously wrestling. But this book is the real deal. It's not one of those books that drags on and you have to. It's one of those books that overnight you could read this and you could feel good about it. And then you just kind of got to step away and think, what the heck just happened? This is crazy. So Florence and I adored this book, 5-star. So get this on Amazon or wherever books are sold. And you know, a lot of you, especially with Ron, this is his first novel. We would really appreciate it if you read this book, got it, give a review. Please review books on Amazon, because that, and on Goodreads, wherever the sites that you get these books on, or wherever you put reviews, please, 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 because this gives other people the thoughts that you have on the book. And you may not think it's a 5. You may think it's a 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 or whatever. But the thing that you need to do is you need to share that with others, so then it gets a fire going and people get excited about the book. There's a lot of books on here that if they had more reviews, I think they would get more buys because people would know more about it. Think of it as Yelp. And so please review this book. Give it the care that it deserves, because Ron worked 2 years on this book. Very hard. Loved it. Keep writing, Ron. Another 5-star book. We loved it. Take care, and we'll talk to you next time on the forum.
Thank you.